Welcome to Internet Girls, the #1 beauty podcast, according to our mum, hosted by makeup artist sisters Indiana Nolte Martin and
Imogen Thomas.
Someone that's just itching to get in here. We're on opposite sides of the world. You finish it. Take it away.
And we're here to chat all things makeup, beauty, and everything in between.
Amy, it's our first recording
Ever?
since being back. Yeah, this is our first podcast.
Feels like it. It's been so long. And it's not in Australia anymore.
Forever.
Yeah, she left us.
Back in Canada.
I look ghostly white next to you right now.
I know I can't believe I'm tan next to you. What is your random rec this week?
My random rec is actually a website called Arena for any graphic design girlies out there or people in the creative industry. It's basically like Pinterest, but on steroids. There's like channels and blocks within blocks. It's kind of hard to wrap your head around, and I'm still wrapping my head around it. But you can search up things like type. And it will just like give you a bunch of these like channels with a bunch of this like cool graphics and stuff you can't necessarily find on Pinterest. It's just very like niche and different. So for any creative industry people out there wanting a little bit more inspo rather than just stuff you see on Pinterest, that can become quite common. There's some really cool things on Arena.
Oh, that's really cool.
I saw it on TikTok and I was like, oh, I got to get on that. And then I got on it and I was like, this is cool. I'm loving this. Tick, tick, tick.
Glad I followed through.
Yeah, I was like, love.
Okay, well, my random rec is a completely different tone to that. It's a podcast episode from a podcast called Beyond the Bump. I listened to them religiously while I was pregnant and then postpartum. And then now I just listen because they're like super fun and entertaining. But they just had a guest on and they spoke about matrescence, which is basically the version of adolescence, but it's instead you're going into motherhood. And it was so fascinating. Like there were so many insights and it was just like very eye-opening to how under-researched and under talked about. That's not a saying, but it's not spoken about. And they were saying that that transition is equivalent to adolescence, if not more. So it was just really, really, really fascinating. And yeah, I couldn't recommend it more. If you're pregnant, if you are a mum and you've been through that, I feel like it was super not reassuring, but it's like, oh yeah, that's exactly how
relatable.
Yes, relatable.
Just joking, the other guys. Can I give another random rec?
Oh my gosh, take it away.
I was struggling to find one. Now I've got two. Because you just reminded me of another podcast I listened to. Indy, I've come across this podcast. One of the girls at work suggested it to me. It is a therapist doing couples therapy, and it's like their actual like therapy session. And they don't like use their names or anything, but it's their voices and them like explaining. And like the first one I listened to was When I'm Manic, I Cheat. And it was just like a full like therapy session with these two people and this like therapist that has been like in the industry for many years.
What's it called?
Like really good question.
Key information to the random rec.
It's called Where Should We Begin with Esther Perel? Perel? Where should we begin?
That's fascinating.
Yeah, so there's like, and like, you know, it's a good podcast when some of the podcasts are locked. Like instead of the play button, they've got like the lock button. Like, you have to pay for that.
Yeah, true. We'll just start locking eyes.
Yeah. But yeah, some of them are like, I have a crush on a co-worker, or like, I told my friend I was in love with her and she told everyone, and like, there's just some really like juicy ones on there.
That's an entertaining listen.
That's like a long drive listen.
With multiple people in the car that you can be like,
yeah, and like you can dissect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. A group podcast.
Yeah. What was your beauty rec?
Well, I was actually going to say something else, but I got ready today and I cannot stop looking at my blush, and you and Mum were both commenting on it. So I'm going to have to make that my beauty rec. It's the RMS Pomegranate Fizz.
So nice.
And how would you describe that color? Rose?
It's like a deep rose.
Not rose. Deep rose, yeah. And then actually it was an accident. Remember, I didn't set out to buy this.
Yeah.
I wanted Prosecco Fizz, and I opened it and I was like, oh, I've ended up with Pomegranate Fizz. And the universe knew what I needed.
Yeah.
I feel like this is really complimentary on like blonde, tan, and blue eyes.
Mm.
Not necessarily blondes. I could see this looking good with any hair color, actually.
Yeah, I think it's just a very versatile color. I think the one you were wanting to go for is very like light peachy coral, which is also really nice. But like, as you said,
the one I was going for is a highlight.
Oh, I get you. Yeah, that's a confusing name, mishap.
Very. I could see how it could happen.
Well, you're basically getting a 2-in-1.
Yeah, I know. It's stunning.
It's like glowy and blushy. It looks so good.
I'll post a pic. If you're not watching, I'll post a pic on our Instagram so you can see.
Yeah.
Well, we have a really exciting episode today because
just skip my beauty rec.
Oh my gosh, sorry. I usually skip my beauty rec. What is it?
Indy's the queen of skipping. Always moving forward, this girl. Yeah. My beauty rec is Victoria Beckham Beauty, and everyone at work keeps calling it BBB, and I'm like, why are we calling it BBB? And they were like, well, we're not going to call it VB, like Victorian Bitter.
Yeah, for any Canadian listeners, that's like Australian beer that's not
it's like a bogan beer.
Cool beer. Yeah.
It's like iconic Australian Victoria bitter. Anyway, so everyone's been calling it BBB, and I'm like, oh, okay, BBB. But my beauty rec from them is their perfumes. Oh my God, their dark green one is my favorite, and their blue one, the light blue one. Absolutely amazing.
We'll link them because I'm sure they have names.
Yes, Portofino and Reve.
There you go.
Pardon the pronunciation.
No, it's perfect.
All right, continue. You're allowed to move on now.
Okay. So moving into our makeup dilemma, I had on my stories this week just asking what people need help with, and it was very clear what we needed to talk about. So let's get into our makeup dilemma. So this week's makeup dilemma is all about contour, bronzer, and blush. What are they? Where do you put them? And do you need them all? So, Imi, how would you define a contour?
A contour is your cool tone brown. So it's like that muddy color for anyone who doesn't know like cool tones. It's like that muddy kind of light beige, not beigey. Muddy is like the best grey, exactly right. And I think there's a massive misconception around contour. I think everyone gets taught it differently. Everyone sees different things on social media on how to do it. The way I got taught was that it is to create shadows, and I never really use contour unless someone says they want their face super chiseled. But I always just like put the tiniest little bit right here underneath the cheekbone, and I just like blend maybe like that much of just like cool tone contour, and I just pat it into the skin like that, because then when you're looking forward, it creates this like shadow here and makes that look more slick. But literally just like that much up here in underneath the cheekbone of just that cool tone contour. And that's all I do for contouring.
First of all, I love how you're saying contour.
Contour. It's like how I say glaçons.
Glaçons, contouring at glaçons. So for anyone that was listening, not watching, Imi just put her finger at the very base of her cheekbone right near her ear. And I would say you mapped out what, like 1 centimeter, 2 centimeters?
Yeah.
So I agree. Contour as a product, gray tone, and it's used to create shadow and like bone structure. So it's not something that's going to give you that sun-kissed look or a tan. It's going to define your bone structure. So the typical placement would be right under the cheek. So if you feel for your cheekbones, right underneath is where you would place your contour, and then along your jawline, temples, and you could do your eyelids as well, nose, lips. So that's the contour placement. And then bronzer as a product. How would you describe a bronzer?
Bronzer is the warmer tone. So it's giving like you've just got a suntan. So I always tell my clients whenever they're doing a lesson that the bronzer kind of hits the high points of the face, because that's naturally where the sun would be hitting the face. So
it's where you would tan.
Yeah. So not where we've put the contour, but on top of your cheekbone is where the sun will be hitting. So bronzer on top of the cheekbone, not only is it going to lift the face, but it's not going to like point the face down or give you a rounded look, and it's going to look more natural as well.
It's the best step in makeup application, in my opinion. So something I tell people in my makeup lessons that they absolutely love, because it's super easy to remember, is your bronzer goes on like a 3. So starting at your forehead, into your cheekbone, and then along your jaw. So that's where exactly what Amy is saying. That's if you were to get a tan, that's those high points that would get darker from the sun.
Mm-hmm.
And then blush placement.
I love blush placement. I think blush placement can change the whole shape of your face. It is like one of the most critical parts of doing your makeup and how you want your makeup to look. So if you want to feel snatched and lifted, I would suggest putting it right underneath the your eye, kind of where like the end of your eye furthest from your nose. Is that the best way to describe it? Like where your eyebrow ends.
Your outer eye, yeah.
Yeah, outer eye, underneath your eye, on top of your cheekbone, and then up. And that's where I like to focus my blush. Or if you want to feel more rounded and you want to have more of a cheeky look, then bring it onto the apples of your cheek and you'll have a more rounded face.
I love that, a cheeky look.
A cheeky.
I think when you and I do makeup, that's the step that we both kind of do differently.
I love
when you do it as well. I love both as well. I feel like for bridal, you often want that like full kind of look, like healthy, happy. I don't know why they're synonymous with each other, but yeah, I love it. And I agree. We should do a video on like how the different blush placement can affect the entire look.
Yes, definitely.
So we also got a question asking how to get a sun-kissed look from your bronzer and blush. I would suggest for that, you actually kind of want to go in like a W shape.
Across
your face. So starting from your outer eye down to the top of your cheekbone, up across the nose, down to the other side of the cheekbone, and then up towards your outer eye.
It's like you get that little sun-kissed bridge.
Yeah, that's if you were to get sunburnt, which you will not be because you'll be wearing sunscreen every day. But if you were to get a sunburn, that's where you would burn. Now, there are products. So I'm just thinking of Tennille Jai's bronzers, which is spelt like a hybrid of bronzer and contour, if you couldn't tell by my pronunciation. And the reason they're called that is because they're bronzers, but she uses them to contour the face as well. So she's using them to contour the nose, map out the eye socket, contour the lids. So I think where it gets confusing is there are products called contours, but then there are also there's also a contour placement. So I think that's where it gets tricky. But your traditionally what they are 3 separate steps, 3 separate products.
I always say to my clients as well, like in lessons, that don't be afraid to layer, especially your bronzer and your blush. Like, don't feel like they aren't allowed to like touch each other or sit on top of each other, because once you layer your blush on top of your bronzer, that's going to also give you a nice sun-kissed look, because that kind of bronze is coming through, but with the blush. And once you lay them all together, they look quite nice.
Yeah, absolutely. I love to layer them. And you can also mix them together. So I just had lunch with a friend the other day, shout out Katie, and she was like, what I do is I mix my bronzer and my blush powder products. And she's like, and I just do it all in one step.
Oh, so smart.
Like, time saving and super blended.
Yeah.
Seamless.
Yeah.
Love that idea, which you and I for applications and every day we're more cream girls. But if you're just using powder, mix them together.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Or there are also products called blonzers.
Bare Minerals have a really nice blonzer.
Yeah, and so do nude sticks. So we can link those as well. So basically what they are is exactly what they sound like, a hybrid of both. So you only need to put one on and you put it in the bronzer spot. So hopefully that cleared things up. I think we've got a few little visuals to follow up with on socials. So make sure you're following us on @InternetGirls Podcast on Instagram and TikTok. And we will pop the tutorials there.
Just like girlies, we're all going to be looking sun-kissed, bronzy and glowy.
And contoured.
And contoured.
All right, let's move into our in and outs. Okay, Amy, first in and out, blurred lips. First of all, have we spoken about this already?
I don't know. I don't think so. Oh, wait. Yeah, we have.
Just maybe.
I think we have. Because you were like, the celebrity's doing it. But
Nina Park?
It's progressed since then.
It's evolved from the Nina Park lip to just blurred lips. So let's not forget where it started. Okay, guys? But there are so many products coming out specifically for the blurred lip.
Tom Ford.
You can think of Tom Ford.
Didn't mean to yell at you like that. I remember, I just have a very distinctive memory yesterday at work. I was like just roaming around having a look at all the new products. And I went to Tom Ford and I was like, blurred lip. And the consistency is like exactly what you would think a blurred lip consistency would be like.
Oh, I haven't seen that. I'll have to look that up. And I'll link it for you guys too if you want to see. I was thinking the Mecca Max and Smashbox, they both have like the sticks that can be used for contouring, bronzing, and then blurring around the lip.
Oh, yeah. And
then L'Oreal's come out with one as well, which I actually really want to try that one. And then, of course, you can just use any lip pencil. You just got to smudge it out.
Yeah. My lips are already blurred. Like, I can't even see when my lips stop and start because they're like, it's just like all one color. And I'm like, I don't know how to do a blurred look because no one will know.
It looks the same.
Yeah.
Well, I think that if it's not obvious, definitely in.
Yeah, definitely an in. My next in and out was light blue or just like blue eyeshadow. I have seen like Farah Modi.
Yep.
I don't know how to say it. And Victoria Beckham Beauty have both just launched in Mecca, and like both of them have come out, like Victoria Beckham Beauty has come out with like a blue eyeshadow stick, like a true like baby blue, and then Farah has like a very similar color eyeshadow as well. And I'm like, okay, I'm understanding. And I'm doing like an editorial shoot soon, and I'm like, oh, I need to find a blue eyeshadow. Like, why does no one have blue eyeshadows? Bam, within the 1 week or 2 weeks. Two brands came in with the blue eyeshadow.
I was just going to say, I feel like at the moment it's very editorial. Are you getting any requests for blue from your clients?
I do sometimes, but it's always like young girls going to like their year 6 graduation.
Okay, so maybe more of the fun than like the trend of it coming back.
Yeah.
So I think it's still in the, like when you think about how a trend starts and then trickles down, I think blue eyeshadow, we're seeing it in like editorials and media and some red carpets, but it hasn't hit mainstream yet. Mm-hmm. And I'm curious, I don't think it will amongst a certain demographic, because I think to people like, say, mum's generation, I think she's going to think been there, done that, and now that's a dated look. Whereas I think yours and like maybe a little bit of mine are going to think, yeah, cool, love, fun.
I think as well, because like Farrah and Victoria brands both are like fashion in the fashion industry. Obviously Victoria Beckham has her own clothing line, and Farrah is like a fashion runway makeup artist, so they both are in the fashion industry, like fashion world, which they do a lot of editorial in. So probably that's why they were like, we need to have a blue.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Runway girls.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your next in or out?
This is editorial too, but I've been seeing so many ombre lips with like all different color variations, and I just think it's so fun.
I saw you do one.
I did a pink ombre.
If you guys aren't following Imi, you absolutely should. You're genuinely one of my favorite people to follow on social media. I have my post notifications turned on for you.
I actually see it. That's so cute.
Yeah, because I'm like always like, oh, what's it going to be? But it looks so good. I love it.
Thank you. Never two videos are the same. But
gotta keep them on their toes, doll.
Yeah, absolutely. I did like this bright pink lip, and then I was like, how am I going to make this ombre? I literally just grabbed concealer with like a brush and put it on my lips, and then like blended it until it like went in a light pink. And it's like, oh, that was easy.
Gorge. Oh, I'm a genius.
Oh, I'm like amazing at doing everything.
I love it. I feel like it kind of goes hand in hand with the blurred lip as well. Obviously the look you did was more like extreme because it was an editorial look. Whereas I think the blurred lip trend is a soft version of that.
Yeah.
Because you're going from dark on the outside to light on the center.
Yeah, definitely. It's very like an evolution. Like in the 90s, ombre lip was so in. I feel like it is still in. Like everyone has like a darker liner and a lighter like lip color. But this is like from the center out. Like the gradient is like from a different starting point.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Well, I love that. I haven't seen it anywhere else, but you're more on the pulse when it comes to the editorial side of things.
I'll be showcasing a little bit more of an ombre lip. We should do ombre lip, you do blurred lip.
Okay, love it. All right, well, do you know that we haven't done our me time moments forever? So I'm actually excited to get into them.
Okay.
What is your me time moment this week?
My me time moment, I was like, what is my me time moment this week? But I have completely cut out drinking, and I stopped drinking for like 6 weeks, and then I had another drink again. I was like, I'm just going to see if like, whatever, I'm just going to have a drink and like see. I bought like a 4-pack, had 3 of them, gave my 4th away, and was like, no, I was home by like 12. And just haven't needed to have a drink since. And I found it so funny because the first like 3 weeks, it's so easy to get to the end of a week and be like, oh, can just have like a glass of wine. Like, can just like, so easy to just like take the edge off and just like have a glass, especially like if you're catching up with friends. Yeah, it's just like, and also like going to the pub and sitting there with your friends, it's just so normal, just like grab a glass of wine, which like absolutely nothing wrong with that. I just found like it just ruins my sleep, and because of my thyroid, I've got like an autoimmune disease at the moment. It was just like, I just decided to fully cut it out. I'm not a good drinker anyway, and whatnot. But I have just realized recently that I am so funny without it. Like,
I thought you were going to stop there. I just realized I am so funny.
I am hilarious. Like, we were out the other night for Millie's birthday. Shout out Millie, our number one listener. And
Yes, love you, Millie.
I was the funniest one there. I was cracking so many jokes. I was just like the life of the party, drove there, waited for everyone to leave. I was almost the last one standing. No, it's not true. But we were like there till like majority had left, and I was just like, dropped my girlfriend's home. I was just like,
doing it all.
I was like, that's right. You can be the life of the party and not have to drink. You just get a Pepsi Max. Maybe I was just really like caffeinated.
Yeah. Looking back, everyone else was like, okay.
Oh, yeah. I was like, Jesus.
You're just laughing at yourself in the corner.
I'm like, good one, Amy.
Yeah.
Having the time of my life.
No, you are so funny. That's what I always tell people. I'm like, and you've always been funny.
It just comes naturally to me, doll. I'm just kidding.
I think this is the moment that your dad would like an acknowledgement on this pod.
That my funniness comes from him. I feel like I have a real mixed humour of mum and dad.
Yeah, they're both hilarious.
Mum is so funny too. Like, I think I have a lot of my like silly humour from mum, but my witty humour is from dad.
Yeah. I was also just thinking he's going to hate that I said your dad.
There's too many logistics within the family. But he's also going to love the fact that I've cut out drinking.
And that he's been mentioned twice in this episode now.
Oh, yeah. Shout out, P2.
Speaking of, guys, if you haven't listened to PMX Bandits, go ahead and listen to that. That is, if you like funny, go ahead.
I have been saving them up because I'm on a train like 3 hours. No, yeah, I'm on a train 9 hours a week. So I save up all the PMX Bandit podcasts so I can listen to them one in a row, because I find if I finish it, I want to listen to another.
Yeah, no, they're so good. We did that on the drive home, which is a 5-hour drive, and it was just so funny.
It's so good. You're just like, yeah, and I want to keep listening.
Anyway, sidetrack, back to me time moments. My me time moment this week is to structure your week. So it sounds like a really broad term, but I didn't know how to synthesize what I'm trying to say. Synthesize? Oh, put this girl to bed. Basically what it is, because I'm on mat leave all the days of the week, there's no weekend really. So I was like, how can I make it feel like I'm still getting a weekend, or like have that approach of like, made it to Friday. So what I've decided to do is Friday night, takeaway, Saturday night, movie, Sunday night, pasta, of course. And then on Saturday and Sunday, I don't do any laundry or introduce any new foods to Nori. So then it feels like I've got something off my plate. I'm like, it's the weekend now. Don't have to cook. Gonna watch that movie I've been looking forward to watching. And just so that there's a bit of separation between Monday to Friday and then the weekend.
I love that. What are you allowed to watch a movie on Friday night, or are you only watching TV shows on Friday nights?
I can. I can watch a movie on Friday night, but I actually find sometimes when I go to put a movie on, I'm like, it just feels like such a big risk. Something like less risky about putting on a show.
Yeah, because it's
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because like if you don't like it, it's over in about 20 minutes.
Yeah, so I don't know. I just Friday night, probably like a TV show I'm excited to watch. And then Saturday, don't have takeaway, but I'll have something that's already cooked, like from the freezer or leftovers, whatever. But movie night, Saturday.
Yeah, nice. I love that. We had a movie night last night. I was like, Annie, Baxter's girlfriend, and I went and got ice cream. And then I was like,
of course.
Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I love that movie. Like, let's watch it. So we sat down, and then we were like going through, like trying to find it, and the Timothée Chalamet one popped up. And we were like, we haven't seen that one. Like, let's watch that one. And we started watching it, and Baxter and Annie left with like within like 40 minutes of the movie. And I was like, oh, damn it.
Rude.
I
like that one. We watched that on the plane home from Australia last time we were there.
I didn't mind it. And then I was like, okay, when the little girl started singing, when they're like with the giraffe and she's like, I forgot to be sad. I was like, okay, wrap it up. And she was like, for a second, I forgot I was sad. I was like, oh, no. No.
Because you didn't know it was a musical?
No, I knew it was a musical, but I was like, oh, that was a shocking line.
Like, it only takes one line and she's out.
She's like, and then it was almost like she was going to follow it up with, I'm adopted.
What's that from?
Dad and I just always say that whenever we're talking musicals, we go, I'm adopted.
Oh, that's why I was like, it sounds so familiar.
It's just like the most like cliche like line in the theatre like songs.
So true. Well, Amy, what have you been up to elsewise since you've been gone?
Look, my weeks consist of being funny, going to uni.
First and foremost.
A whole lot of nothing really, but literally everything. Let's just say I have no days off, which is unreal. I'm excited for Sunday though because it's our cousin's 21st. Shout out Kiki. And Dad and I, she's doing like a trivia day at like she's rented out a hall and she's doing like a trivia thing. And Dad and I are the MCs and we're like reading out the questions and stuff.
Oh, that's really so exciting. Fun. Oh my God, you guys are going to be so good at that.
I know, I'm going to love it. So that's going to be really good.
Oh no.
I know, the whole family's going to get down, which will be funny.
That'll be so good.
What have you been up to, Dom?
We've just been settling back in, straight back into bridal season. I had a bridal trial as soon as I got home, which was amazing. And yeah, it has been really nice, but snowed a ton today. So it's just like...
Which is like kind of crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, middle of April. I mean, it's not crazy for here, but it's crazy because it's annoying. And yeah, just getting back into the routine of life. We, while we were home, my friend who videographed our wedding gave me our SD cards with just like all the raw footage from the day. So we rewatched that together and it was so nice. I loved watching it that way, like not edited. Just
I want to see all that.
Oh, it was so good. I was like, that was the best day ever.
It was so good. Not to be biased, but my sister had the best wedding in the world.
It was definitely my dream day, which is all that matters. When you get married, not you, I'm just saying in general, if you have a wedding, it doesn't matter how anyone else feels about it as long as you had your best day.
The things I do to have those fresh oysters on the beach again.
Yeah, they were good.
Mm.
I know the weather was perfect. Like it was now that Dad lives near that location, we were walking along the beach and the tide was really in and really out both days we were there. And like the tide on the wedding day was just like perfect. It's like, things you don't even think about. And I'm glad I didn't because you don't need other things to worry about.
And even the tide was good.
The moon's aligned.
It's because you've got a wave tattoo.
Yeah, exactly. We're connected.
Yeah, it was like, I'm connected with the ocean right now. Better be good for my darling's wedding. That's your wave tattoo talking, by the way.
Never going to be able to look at it the same.
It's like in Moana when the tattoos are like talking. You're like, stop it.
Yeah. No, but it was just like reflecting on the trip. It was just the best time ever. It felt like such a holiday because there were so many people around to help, and being out of your home, you don't have the same things on your mind. You're not like, got to go get groceries, got to do laundry. Even though we did all those things, it was like a collective decision. It wasn't all just falling on like us. So I feel so rested and rejuvenated and ready. I feel like this is my start of the year now.
Yeah, I feel that for you.
So I'm excited. We've got a fresh new energy.
Perfect. That's what you need in life. A little reset.
I know. Got some guests lined up for the pod, which I'm really excited about.
Yep.
This is a question for our listeners. So because I think we talked about this before, but we're going to do Big Sister advice. And that'll either be a segment in our episodes and or in like not exclusive, and or interviews. So Big Sister advice with blah, blah, blah. Should those episodes be Big Sister advice, or should it be like Diaries of an It Girl?
Are you asking me or are you throwing it out to the open?
No, I'm just letting it sit.
Okay.
So our listeners should let us know what they think is better. Essentially, it's going to be someone that comes onto our pod that doesn't necessarily need to be beauty related, but they're going to be an expert in their field. So they'll have something really valuable to share that we think you guys will love and that we ourselves will also love because we love interviewing people.
Slay.
So yeah, I think that's it for this week. Feels good to be back.
I know. Feels good to yap again.
I know. I feel like I could just yap, but I'm nervous that it's not going to make any sense.
I know. There's so much going on as well in the world, and like we could talk forever about Coachella and about Alex L's skincare brand and the Alex Cooper and Alex L drama. Oh my God.
I know, so much going on, but I feel like I'm not up to date enough on any of it.
Oh my God. Did you know that Jacob Elordi and Kendall Jenner were kissing at Coachella?
I saw that. Or I saw like that was being talked about. And that is the most logical couple I've ever heard of.
I was going to say the same. It just makes so much sense.
It makes perfect sense.
They're giving baseball cap duo. New York Yankee, white t-shirt, simple.
Blue jean,
white singlet, New York Yankees cap, cool children.
Done.
I'm here for it. I'm a stand for Jacob Elordi and Kendall Jenner.
Me too. I really appreciate the way you say his name as just one word.
Jacob Elordi. Jacob Elordi.
Before we go, quick question. How do you feel about seeing celebrities in real life?
Well, look, that doesn't happen often at all here in Melbourne. But I think that, like, I'm so the kind of person to be, like, never approach.
Just act cool.
Act cool if they come up to me for whatever reason.
If they recognize me and want a photo.
Yeah. I let them come to me. I chat. I never chase. No, but I don't know. I'm not one of those. I'm not a very big, like, obsessed with, like, celebrities and, like, pop stars and stuff like that. So I'm not, I don't know. I feel like I'd be like, oh, that's so cool. That's rah, rah, rah. And then I'd forget about it like 10 minutes later.
Yeah. See, I feel, so a bit of background. When I was little, I would keep like a tally of how many famous people I've seen. And especially like how many people I know. Like I am the biggest name dropper in the entire world. If I know someone slightly famous, you're my friend, you will know about it. You'll know about it multiple times across your whole lifespan. And some people just act really cool about it. And so do I. I actually had a celebrity encounter in Queensland when I was there, but I'm not going to go into it because I handled it really well.
I was going to say, you're going to talk about it.
No, but after, obviously, I've told every single person I've seen, and they're like, how was your trip? Good. I actually ran into.
But she actually came up to you, so hello.
Yes, that's true. I'm not the kind of person that would go up to someone, but seeing them from a distance, like just as good. And also like knowing someone that knows someone famous, amazing.
Next level. I think I know who you're talking about.
But I know for some people they could care less, but I'm like, no, at any given moment you could be like, do you know someone famous? And I'd be like, well,
let me get my list out I've had since I was 7.
Yeah, let me tell you about a time I was 4 in the elevator at the South Melbourne Market with Mum, and Rove McManus was in our elevator.
I don't know who that is, but slay.
No, I know. I was just thinking you wouldn't age me, but he was he had a TV show called Rove Live. Anyway, it was like a big deal. It was on. I think it was on every Friday night.
Oh, perfect. That's what you can watch on your Friday nights. No movies.
Reruns.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, now we are just yapping.
Well, it's good to speak to you guys again.
I know. Thank you so much for listening. And if you're not following us, please follow us on Spotify, Apple, or YouTube. We would so appreciate it. And follow us on socials as well, Internet Girls Podcast, Instagram and TikTok.
And what's your private Instagram and TikTok?
Oh, personal, I think is the word you're looking for.
Yeah.
Indiana Makeup Collective. Yours?
Is Amy Thomas with 2 S's for Instagram and Amy Tomo for TikTok.
And we will try our very best to have an episode next week. Sorry, we accidentally ghosted you guys for 2 weeks without saying anything.
And we might be introducing a couple of solo eps if we can't link up, because sometimes with the time difference and having a baby, we might just be doing solo eps here and there. So look out for those as well.
And you don't forget about your 100,000 jobs.
Yeah, well, that too.
Anyway, we will hopefully see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.